If you think you need thousands of dollars to start investing in 2026, that belief has already cost you money and made you miss a lot of great returns. So today we're going to fix that. I'm going to break down 2 stocks that are under $100. That is great for beginners, but actually great for anybody who just want to hold solid companies that have great fundamentals, great clientele, and great positioning. So in this video, once we break those down, I want you to understand that these stocks are not all over the headlines. These stocks are not all over social media, but they fit really good in your portfolio, and they just compound returns. It's your boy, the Wall Street Trapper, man. In this video, I want you to like, I want you to subscribe, and I want you to share this because we truly want to help y'all get started in 2026 and do it the right way. So let's trap with me. If you're new to investing, the hardest part isn't picking stocks. It's really just trusting yourself. You see people online yelling about crashes and bubbles and overnight winners, but the real wealth is built by just owning strong companies and letting the time do all the heavy lifting. And that's why today I'm going to show you these 2 stocks, because I realized as I look at the media and as I look at these platforms, people are always talking about the same stocks, the same industry. I want to break it down to places where people don't look. And in 2026, you can be diversified with great companies that just keep getting slept on. So let's get straight to it because I don't want to waste your time. The first company is none other than Textron, ticker symbol TXT. What did this company do? It's simple. They literally build real machines that the world depend on. That's right. They build aircrafts, helicopters, defensive systems, and industrial vehicles, right? If it moves people, goods, or defense, Textron is involved. This is the type of company that's really simple to understand. This is the type of company that when you look around, you're like, yep, aircraft, yep, if it moves people, yep, it moves goods, then we can understand this. Now, their competitors are Boeing from commercial aircrafts, Airbus from large aircrafts, and Lockheed Martin from a defensive perspective. But here's the difference that we really got to understand and walk through. Textron isn't dependent on one product, whereas a lot of companies are. Here's what really makes them stand out amongst their competitors, amongst the marketplace, and it's showing up in their returns. Textron operates in multiple high-demand areas. 1, business jets. 2, helicopters. 3, defense and military contracts. 4, industrial vehicles. Now, that puts them in the league by themselves because their competitors do one or the other. They do all 4. This diversification protects them during slowdowns. So we know that the economy goes through slowdowns over and over and over again. So what we want to do when we build in our portfolios, we want to build our portfolios with companies that can endure these slowdowns and still print cash. So let's think about why they're having such a strong year. 1, strong demand for business aviation. 2, defensive spending is rising globally. That won't slow down. And 3, infrastructure and logistics, just that investment is continuing, no matter who's in office. It's not flashy, but it's why Wall Street hasn't crowned it yet. But under the surface, Wall Street just keep buying it. Now let's pull back another layer. When it comes to the balance sheet, which is where the assets and the liabilities are at, they have strong cash position into the billions. They have really, really great management of debt, and it has strong free cash flow. Now, having strong free cash flow tells us that they can pay the bills and still invest in the business. This gives Textron room to invest, pay shareholders, and survive just a lot of influxes in the market. They have about $1.4 billion to $1.5 billion in cash on hand. That's just as of the last recent quarter. Having cash on hand means that the company can pay bills, invest in growth, weather slowdowns, avoid scrambling for financing in tight markets, and just hold their own weight. The most profitable sector is the aviation, which is the private and business jets, and then the defense. Of course, why would we think otherwise? Those segments really fit globally. 1, global uncertainty. 1, increase in defensive budgets. And 2, corporate travel returning. A company like this, TXT, again, you won't see it all over the place because 1, the average person on YouTube or Google just don't know about it. Me, because I started off as a fundamental investor and I just love looking at companies that are strong fundamentally. So when markets shake and money rotates into companies that actually make things, this company, TXT, fits perfectly. Year to date is up 15%. 1 year is up 16%. And in 5 years is up 83%. That means it's averaging a double-digit return. This is a silent beast without the hype, just the returns. Ticker symbol TXT. This is one company that I truly think that we should be looking in. Next on the list is one of my favorites. Now, I'm not going to lie, I've owned this company for a very long time. And I just want to put y'all on. Monster Beverage. Ticker symbol MNST. Now, Monster sells energy drinks. They're kind of like the big dog. They sell them globally. Now, one of the things they've done really well is tapped into the social media, getting people like John Jones and a lot of other media brands to really be on their profile. This sounds simple, but it's really powerful. They have high margins, they have addictive brand loyalty, and they have global distribution, unlike its competitors. And I'm going to say something about this one that is really good. So their competitors are Red Bull, Celsius, and then these new line of Pepsi products and Coca-Cola products that's out. Now, they have a partnership that is extremely beneficial for them. Their advantage is they have the brand recognition because they're also in NASCAR. They try to get into Formula One. They're in UFC. They're getting streamers on board. So they have branding, they have distribution, and they have pricing power. Now, that's just some of the things that they do. But when it comes to why do they really stand out the way they do? Well, they don't need to reinvent the wheel on what it takes to be an energy drink. It wins because people keep buying, costs stay controlled, and profits stay compounded. Notice when you think about energy drinks, they kind of have the best advertising when it comes to stores, store placement, brand placement. That's not a coincidence. Their cans look really energetic. It's not a coincidence. Now, their balance sheet is one of the cleanest balance sheets you'll ever see by any type of company. They have massive cash reserves. The company has little to no debt, and they have strong operating margins. Now, what that means is when it comes to paying bills and it comes to a dollar, more of their money equals profits than it equals debt. That means no pressure from interest rates, flexibility to expand and acquire, which they also do, and they have safety during market pullbacks and economic pullbacks. Why? Because people still gonna drink energy drinks. It's just what we do in America. And secondly, they're a dominant brand. I don't want to get into what's clear. What drives Monster's revenue? The core energy drinks is good. The international growth is good. And the pricing power is phenomenal. They can actually raise prices without losing customers. But the thing I love most about this brand is, and why they stay under the radar. In order to get where they are right now, they partner with Coca-Cola, one of the biggest stocks in the game. Coca-Cola actually owns about 18% of Monster Energy Drink. Now, what I love about that, the trade-off was Monster Energy Drink gave them that trade-off to, one, get some of their shelf space. Now, if you look into the aisles in any beverage in any store you go to, Coca-Cola dominates the shelf space. They're everywhere in all the Coca-Cola products. Well, for that percentage of Monster Energy Drink, Coca-Cola then gave Monster Energy Drink a portion of its shelf space in over 200 countries. So in uncertain times, people don't stop buying habits, they double down on them. And Monster benefits from that. So now they actually are in 200 countries because of Coca-Cola. And they have prime real estate because of Coca-Cola. So they gave up the 19%, which was cool. So it's an exclusive deal with Coca-Cola as a global distributor. That's key. But Monster get the prime shelf space. Again, access to over 200 countries. They get logistics, they get bottling, they get trucking, and retail relationships, all for 19%. Exposure, they get that too. Coca-Cola get access to one of the leading energy drink brands in the game. Profit, participation, without building an energy brand from scratch. It's a win-win deal for both companies. This is not marketing. This is an infrastructure leverage. And I love that Monster Energy Drink did this because this put them in a situation to be better than their competitors. Now, year to date, it's up massively. Monster has been generating strong cash over the last few years. They currently have about $2.6 billion in cash, and they have some short-term investments as well, which is really good for them because now it's a safer play than all the other brands. So I definitely like Monster Energy Drink when it comes to playing this. For new investors, this matters because Monster doesn't need big trucks and big warehouses of bottles, which means they just do that through Coca-Cola. They don't need to negotiate retail. They do that through Coca-Cola. Monster doesn't need massive CapEx spend to keep growing. They do all that through Coca-Cola. This is where they win at. So while other companies are burning cash through trucking, through logistics, through bottling, through warehouse space, they just do that through Coca-Cola. They gave up the 19%. Year to date, the company is up 46%. In 1 year, the company is up 48%. And in 5 years, the company is up 75%. Again, double-digit returns for a company that's solid like this. One of these companies builds machines that move the world. The other sells products that people refuse to give up. Either way, this is a win-win. Now, the reason why this is great for investors, one, they both are under $100. They both are profitable, and they both are built to last. Now, you probably won't get skyrocketing through the roof returns that'll make you a millionaire tomorrow. No, but this is great companies that keep say that again, Steve. These are great companies that keep compounding, and they slowly build your portfolio, and you can slowly build positions in them. So if you stay in the game long enough, this is how compounding works. Listen, if this video helped you see the game a little bit different, and these are two stocks that you're truly interested in, I just want to say thank you for giving me your time. If this video helps you, man, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and do me a favor and share this video out to somebody you know that can need the help. It's your boy, the Wall Street Trapper, and Wall Street looks like us now. Let's go.